I mean, it can't have much hold in it.
Yeah. No, it didn't budge at all, really.
And see, the thing to me would be I don't know how to do it, but would be to have this held down and lift. Because depending on where this is, if this is still tacked here, or you know, it seems like it would pivot up easier. And I ran my finger up in here to see if there was any more well, but I didn't see none, and I didn't feel none. But that son of a bitch ain't moving.
What if you flip the trailer over, hit it? And then at that point, if that don't work, you can sneak the truck underneath and then pick up.
Yeah, I just hate to go through all the bullshit to flip the trailer over.
Are we done up top? I mean, except for the...
Let me think. If we take this thing, pick it up with the hoist, set it on the tail roller, you know, up to the tubing, and then we take the electric one and go down. We'd have to hook on like do a redirect, you know, so we could pull the yoke down with the hitch sitting on the roller.
That don't give you enough. If that doesn't give you enough pull, not pull, but like distance, you want a chain right here or to the hooks and have the tongue like that.
Well, we could block it up a little too, you know. I don't know. You think that'd be a better maneuver?
Yeah.
Do you want to run the chain fall or the truck? Because we'll have to lift it up and back up.
Yeah, I got you.
And to be honest with you, I think we ought to just put a block behind the big pulley block, you know, take that white block down there, put it right there, and then we'll set the hitch on top of it. Just go ahead and give us the extra 6 inches, you know. All right, guys, we're rigging up a redirect to the hitch and to the bottom of the what are you hooked to down here? We have to do something different because if you don't have the chain, it's gonna slide down. Let's grab one of the little chains off the yellow lift. There you go. And we'll put it around right here. We'll hook this up. Like I said, we're just gonna put a little bind and see if it'll work. Are we ready? Alright, watch your block right there. Okay. So let's hook that tight as we can and see. wash straight back. You some tinted or you good? Huh?
So I'm just getting the crack.
Just get on that point right there and start washing either forward or back, but you want to get on that seam and wash this way. And try not to hit the square pipe if you can. If you do, I'll just, you know, we still may have to weld that up, but we just want to cut on that outer piece, you know. Let it get hot and then just wash at a real hard back angle to where you're cutting just that outer shell and not the inner pipe or the inner square tubing. Look, dude, we done playing with this shit. Stop. Start down here and cut right at the end of the square tube and up the crack and across, and I'll cut down. Point it straight at me. There you go. Don't cut the square tubing, but cut the outer piece. You can start at the top or whatever. We're just gonna cut the whole shit off. We're just cutting the whole ball off. Now follow my cut down. Or you can cut from the bottom, but I don't want to. I want to save as much of that square tubing because I got to weld it. Cool deal. Now we got to just peel that off. Let me get this truck off of here. Now we're going old school with flying tools. You know, I do have a little wedge. I have a little small wedge, like a kind of like a log splitting wedge.
Yeah.
Let me go get that. If you want, grind a little more, and then we'll hammer the hell out of it. Well, the good thing about beating the holy hell out of this thing is you're going to sleep good tonight.
Yeah.
You get good exercise beating a sweet fiddler's beep, as Peg would say. You need a hammer, or you going to keep playing with that little... Where's my crowbar? Aha, I saw you.
Guys, I loosened it up for him.
Oh yeah, I'm just coming in on the end. Loosen that other side. I'm just here. You want to know how mentally off the muscle is that he thinks I'm the brains of the outfit. So if I got him fooled, I can fool y'all.
I'm the muscle. What does that say about you?
That is the cutest little chisel.
Yeah,
Next time I have a hangnail, I know what to get. Get a real tool.
That's thin enough to get under there to start it.
All right, well, you loosen the other side. I ain't gonna say nothing. You bending your little tool too.
Yeah, I have to bend it. I'm gonna get a chisel. I had one.
On the truck. Oh Lord. He's got the big French hammer.
That was your problem, Simon.
Yeah. One way or the other, you coming off, baby. Try that little silver one. It's got a pointier. You got a gap to get into?
A little bit.
There you go. Well, now you're just getting fancy. How they used to say that? Just beat it, beat it.
It's coming off.
Oh, I'm getting the hell out of here. Last time there was almost an impalement from Vlad the Impaler. Oh, he's loosening it up. Hold the phone, hold the phone. Go ahead and give her a lick or two.
A bit more? I think I'm on the edge. Let's see if I can, just watch for flying tools.
He's trying to kill me, y'all. And y'all saw it.
I'm gonna just whack it now.
We got video evidence. How about a warning that you coming in with a big hammer? You just, wow! I was like, what the? Hit the piece we're trying to get off.
Hit the camera. Yo, watch out. Yeah, that's what.
What you messed up? Where's the big credit? Is it off on one side?
Still holding on. Probably.
I think I'm wasting my time here. Yeah. Talk to it.
I mean,
Talk to it on the outside, closest to you. There you go. There you go.
one more. Two more.
Well, amen and hallelujah. Just like everything in life, guys, you can always get it solved. You might just need a bigger hammer.
Did they grind that cotton?
All right, we're gonna grind and dress all that or what? See, we were cutting, but we still had all that weld holder. Yep. What we're doing here, guys, is we had this old hitch, and Tristan had actually spotted what I hadn't spotted, and right where we cut it, this thing is still good and hot. We were cracking right here in this straight section, and right here. So that thing is old as all get out, and we got since I extended this trailer from 16 to 22 feet, I purchased a heavy-duty 2 5/16 ball coupler for the front of this thing, and so while we're doing our fenders and our third axle install and all that, we're going to do this hitch too and a few other things and maybe slap a little paint on it. all for what we hoping to be a nice upcoming surprise for us in about 4 or 5 weeks. You guys a little later, but I'm not gonna say anything. I don't want to jinx it. All right, well, we're gonna get to the grinding and clean this up and straighten it all up and get it ready for the other hitch. All right, guys, after a little torch work and a little heating and a beating, we got our little nub there ready for the hitch. We got our hitch down there, right there, and we got it all squared up for our track right here. So we're letting this cool off for a minute, and then once we get it cool, we're gonna take our magnets and see if that's strong enough to hold the track, and we'll show you how that all fits up, how to mock it up and tack it in place. So let me let this cool off and we'll come back to you. Alright guys, well, we're getting back to you to update you. We got this, we got our hitch on. That's what we left off on. The battery went dead. So we got our hitch all welded on with some gussets on top and bottom. We got our, I'm not sure on the height, so we got our hitch kind of mocked up right here, and I think that'll be good enough for a while. We got this 3-inch piece of square tubing, and this angle iron is sitting on is where we took the boards under. So we're going to trim a couple of kickers to go from where this hammerhead is up to here, and we're going to just basically weld that on there, and it's just going to be a wheel stop in case something wants to roll forward. It can't just keep rolling forward. These you'll see us putting these on. Just some little brackets that are going to go like this and tie into the 3-inch, give it a little bit more rigidity, because the angle we're going to weld it on right here is just kind of braced in the front, and it's just meant to hold boards down and not really be too structural. So those kickers will get it. And we also are going to get into cutting axles probably today. So we got a piece of pipe that may work for our axle back there. We're going to have to cut that and cut this and make a sleeve and shorten that axle. It's too wide. And of course that axle is going to go right here. So anyway, let's get back into the last little bit of nitpicking on the trailer. Well, we got this cut. I got it on time lapse. I'll tell you what we ended up doing. This is a new style mobile home axle, and it's longer than the ones we had on the trailer, which are antiques. So we had 23 inches of axle we had to get rid of. So we put a scribe mark on it, and that way we can keep it clocked the same direction. Let me get on the other side here. I'm looking around and not looking in the frame. So we got it marked and scribed right here, and the same thing on the other piece. So we cut a 23-inch section out of the middle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bevel this and bevel the other half, and we're going to use this 3-inch channel iron to cradle this, and that'll allow me to butt them together and tack them and keep everything as true as possible. We got a little bigger pipe that's going to be our slip collar. So initially what we're going to do is we're going to butt these two together, clamp them in here, line our scribe up. They'll be beveled, so we'll tack them real good, adjust it, and finish our tacks all the way around so nothing wants to tweak out. And then buff that. We'll make a good couple of passes here, smooth all that down, and then we'll slide our slip collar over. And the slip collar is going to be welded on the ends, but it's also going to have some probably 5/8 or 3/4 holes for some plug welds, just to give it some more rigidity. And we're going to come back over here, and we were gonna, well, I was gonna, I'm on the fence. I think I'm gonna take this. We need to take this hanger and we need to move it over a little bit, because we're gonna have to put one of the equalizers, like we got little 3-legged equalizers, and so we got new hangers here and a new hanger here, and I've got some leaf springs, so we'll do all of that. We're gonna change a lot of the bolts on these, put new Teflons, and get it all into shape. It's had new bearings and everything, On these old ones, we took the brakes out. Now this axle will be my brake axle, and we're going to try that. If we need more stopping power, then we'll update the brakes in one of these axles. And since that is going to be, I'm on the fence as to whether to leave the shortened axle in the front or put it in the middle. I mean, if I have it in the front, the truck is going to be carrying some weight. If I have it in the middle, I don't know. I got to kind of do a little more thinking about that. But maybe it doesn't make any difference. But we'll have this three axled up at that point, and we can go from there. But we got so we're cutting a slip pipe that's going to go over this, and I'm going to start beveling these. And just getting them ready to butt up to each other, and that way we can start tacking these in place. All right, let's get on it. All right, kiddos, I'm gonna see if I can show you all this. I don't know if it's gonna come out, but what I'm trying to do is leave about maybe a 1/16 or an 1/8 landing of the original cut from the chop saw, so that when we line the scribes up, this will fit, but we'll be able to get a full pin weld. We're not gonna gap it, I don't believe. That thin, I think I'm just gonna butt it up, because we are gonna use this pipe here as a sleeve. So we gotta drill some holes in there. But basically what I'm doing here, and I'm not recommending this because I do not know, I've seen this done, I do not know what the recommendations are, but for this triple axle application, since it's my trailer, I'm taking a chance on it. So that's why we're cutting this the way we're doing it. So like I said, we're leaving a little landing to line up square, and then we're beveling the rest out, and we're gonna sleeve it with our pipe over here. Let me walk around, and then now this is about 2 foot of pipe. So now, and we're gonna drill some holes in a few spots, so that once we sleeve it, we can plug weld it and in weld it. So that's the plan on this, and I'm going to explain what needs to be explained, but we'll shoot a lot of this in time lapse, because I'm sure y'all not interested in hearing everything. I don't think Blue is interested in everything either. Let me see what's up her tail this morning. It's Blue. What you doing? We got our security team aggravated. I don't know if she's pumped up because the band is playing, or maybe she hears our neighbor's dogs coming to visit. Alright guys, we shooting between the raindrops. So you can see we left a little gap. We got her clamped in. She's even all the way across. We got our slide pipe on there, which I was real worried I'd forget about. Talked to a friend of mine and he advised don't worry about doing plug welds. So I think we'll be all right. I mean, the minute this starts to torque, that'll be catching it because it's pretty tight fit. So we're just gonna slide this over and weld up. We're gonna have to grind here and here, but for right now I want to get this tacked in and started. So again, also took a measurement, and on here, I don't know if I mentioned this the other day, but the landing right here for the wheels is a little different shape than the older style that we have on there, or the hub is a little shape different. So in order to get the total length measurement, I figured our best place to measure would be from this flat to the adjacent one on the other side, and we got the same exact measurement, flat surface to flat surface, as we did there, which is like 92 7/8, I believe, if I'm right. So anyhow, we should be exactly the same, and we're going to go ahead and tack this in and get this started and see if we can get a little bit of work done before the rain gets us. Alright guys, we got this a little higher up. We got it picked up with the winch, and the gantry's holding back up, and we got the air jack on the back. Work off the stool here and not have to be on the creeper. So this is the standard dual axle setup. Front leaf spring to the, I call them triangles, I know they equalizers. This one doesn't even look like a triangle, but most of them do. And then they terminate in the back. So what we're doing is because of the extra space for the equalizer, we had to move this forward 4.5 inches. So the space from a terminus hanger to the equalizer hanger is 34 inches, and then the space from that to to determine let me see, yeah, so we're 29.5 when you go in spring to hanger, but the hanger spreads it out 4.5 inches, so we needed to spread it out 4.5 more inches. So I moved this over, got a new hanger. Once we get this out of here, I'll cut that off. And then so between the triangles, let me back up. So we got a equalizer triangle here, equalizer here. That's gonna be a 34-inch measurement behind this tire. 29.5 center to center from hanger to hanger there where it terminates, and 29.5 from the new hanger to the new hanger here. So hopefully that explains it. You can pull up pictures of, leaf spring setups. And what I'm gonna do is show you, I've got this aluminum right here. I don't know if it's gonna show well, but you can look right down the straight edge and everything's in line. So we got the hangers clamped. We got them touching good right here, front and back, so we know they're square to this. And what I'm gonna do before I finally tack them is take one more final measurement. So again, we should be 4.5 inches center to center going this way, then 29.5 here. So that's what we're looking for. And then that puts this new hanger where the equalizer will be, and the center of the bolt on that equalizer will be 34, and then 29.5. So that's where our 4.5 inches measurement here is coming from. If we get 4.5 here, if we positive 4.5, then that's gonna be 34 inches. So, and then if we don't have a running truck in here when I get ready to set it up, I'm gonna move over to this side and set them all up. I have them marked and measured that line there, and then pretty much dead center of this is the 2 marks. So we wire wheeled everything, and we're gonna clamp them in place and burn them in. All right, I'm gonna get busy tacking these and burning them in. I don't think I'm gonna bother filming it because we're getting a lot of time lapse and a lot of music over here. I don't want y'all dancing and missing anything educational. But basically, we're just gonna burn these in, and I'll show y'all setting them up on the other side, and we'll burn those in, and then we'll be ready to hang everything. All right, guys, well, we got our little pieces cut here, little angle pieces, and we're gonna tack this on as our wheel stop. So you'll see that on here in a minute, but I had to make y'all laugh. You ever do something so stupid you're impressed with how stupid it was? So this is the trailer right here. As you can see, it is not all back together. It's, we still haven't put our third axle under it. This is the last of the welding other than the third axle. We got our hitch done. We got all of our boards over here pulled off and oiled down with used motor oil and ready to go back on. Well, we got a project coming up we needed some body parts for. I went and did a little wheeling and dealing, picked up a couple of trucks, and told a guy last night, hey man, we'll be there when you come on to work tomorrow evening. We'll come by and pick up the trucks. Well, I don't know what the hell we're gonna pick them up with, because this old girl is not ready to haul a truck. As you can see, she's on the Slim Fast diet. So I guess what we're gonna do, instead of leaving this naked and finish welding it, finish our third axle right here, we got to shorten that one up and put it back under. And I was gonna leave it all naked, and then once all that welding was done, paint it. And we might end up, I don't know, we very possibly may end up throwing the boards back on it, or we might end up borrowing a trailer to go get the trucks. But how do you like that? You go wheel and deal for a couple of trucks and tell the guy I'll be there tomorrow to pick them up, never remembering that this is the state your trailer's in. All right, well, enough jabbering about that stupidity. Let's get on it. Well, we got this one welded in, a couple of passes. I'm not going to bother smoothing over these other welds. For some reason, this side came out a little better than that side, but that's the way it goes. Anyhow, we got this thing butt welded, shaved down, sleeved, and in welded, so that's as good as it's going to get right now. I got to get under there and relocate. I picked up some more spring purchase. Excuse me, let me get on the other side of this. We're in the throwing shadows everywhere. So we're gonna have to move these inboard a little bit, and rather than shave these off and try and save them, I just picked up 2 new ones. I needed some hardware anyway. One of the U-bolts had to get cut, so we ended up buying a U-bolt set. So anyhow, that's what we're gonna be working on this morning. Welding perches on and mounting springs, and then probably pick this up with the gantry or something and get it rolled up under its spot over here. And we have to cut that right there off, probably leave the base on and just cut the wings off, and move it to the left a little bit, put a equalizer triangle, at least I call them a triangle, but anyway, put one of those up in there and then measure off of that and spot our front spring bracket and make some headway with this. Time to get this thing out of here. It's been raining for a week and a half, and I think we're gonna have a few good days this week, so we get this thing put back together, we can shoot some paint on it, quit looking at all this rusty patina. Don't get me wrong, I like my rusty patina, but I think we're gonna go ahead and slap some sexy black paint on this one. All right, let's get to it. Alright guys, we got the third axle under here. We got busy yesterday, working kind of late and didn't get the footage of it. you saw me bringing the axle under here, so it was kind of the same thing, using the gantry crane up there. And Tristan was knocking out the old bolts. We put all new bolts and shackles, and we're getting ready to torque all this up. So we just used both of the chain falls up here to each carry an axle to kind of articulate the equalizers so that we could get everything all lined up. So that's the triple axle installed, and got a few other little things to do to it, but we're gonna be putting it down on the ground. Right now we're torquing up all the bolts on the axles, and then I got to add another lift block. We had this first one put on. A friend of mine needed to borrow the trailer, and he stuck his winch in there. Then I put this one on for mine. But when we put this block up here as a chock, because the boards go right under this angle iron, when we did this, now the winch line is right in line with the board. So I drilled another one and got it situated, so we'll be 3 high right here, and that'll put the cable to go right down the deck without rubbing on this stop. And we're still trying to figure out a spare tire situation, whether we want them on the trailer or just throw them in the truck. I don't know. We're kind of kicking some ideas around, but like I told y'all before, we got a little run that we're hoping to find some information out on this weekend, and that's why we want to get this old girl done. So we're going to torque these things down, get the wheels on it, and get it out away from here, and maybe set it up this afternoon for some paint. We'll see how the day goes. Let me get to welding on this thing, and we'll show y'all some footage or catch you up in a little bit.
Alrighty guys, we're about to set this baby down, see how it looks.
You almost, like say you're touching on the back wheel. Tell you what, let's do. I'm gonna leave this tape measure here and get all the tools off of it, and we'll take it over on the flat ground. I'm gonna go ahead and hook it to the truck, and we'll take it to over there and see what it looks like. See if we need to make any adjustments on the hitch.
Okay, Well, as y'all can see, what would you call this?
We call this slender parking.
We got our well, as you can see, we got it up on in, make it a lot easier to paint on the underside, that is.
I couldn't convince Tristan to lay down on the creeper underneath there and shoot paint.
No, not this way, boy.
Well, we're gonna paint the bottom, probably paint everything we can get our hands on from here, and then set her back down on the ground and finish the paint job off. But it hadn't been painted in God knows how long, so I figured we get one good paint job on it. So that's where it is now. We'll come back to y'all when it's time to slap a little paint and get this project fini.
Slim parking. Well, guys, they tell me this trailer's been about 30 years in the making, so I think it's about time she deserved a coat of paint. We'll get y'all a post-paint interview with the man here. He'll have a lot more details than I do, but as you can see, we're hitting it with some rusty metal primer, and then we'll hit it with the black Rust-Oleum. Pablo Picasso.
This is good, looking pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I like it. I like it black.
You have to shoot one top from that side.
Gun's doing alright?
Huh?
You shooting alright?
Oh yeah. Tell you what, take this ladder, set it up like this opposite, and I got two spots I'm gonna shoot, and then I'll hand you the gun, and you can do the top, the end rail up there. There you go. Trying to get up and make you a good long sweeping pass down the top, maybe twice, and that's ought to be good. Whatever else you see. All right, guys, we're gonna set this old girl back on her shoes and move her back in the shop. We got a few other little knickknacks to take care of, so let's set her down. if it's really high, you can just lower the ball down, whichever way you want. Put it over there by the stall and we'll film her coming in.
Right.
So the magnet right here on the arm, and this arm is shaped like a C, so it should be facing this way. And if you look at your shoes and measure them, should have a short and a long, and the short should be on the leading edge as per the information I got. But we're gonna go back and touch up little stuff like this and a few other little spots that we might have missed from angles and whatnot with this thing up. And again, we're gonna undo our shackles right here on both sides. We're gonna hammer them out as one piece, and that way you know, we got new shackle straps, and we want to keep the we already got them hammered in with the splines, so we don't want to unspline any of that. So we're gonna we'll unbolt the nuts and hammer it out as a set. That'll let our springs drop down, and then we'll buzz off these U-bolts, swap the axle around, and get back to it. So we're gonna pull these wheels and get on, and we'll come back to y'all in a minute. All right, guys, we got the spring shackles back on. We got our U-bolts lined up. We're torquing them down, and we're just doing them in a crisscross pattern. So just one bolt, one U-bolt leg, the other U-bolt leg, in an X pattern. And we're not gonna bore y'all. We might put it on time lapse, but we're gonna touch up this paint. And I got a winch bracket I gotta make in the front. We'll show you that a little later too. Yeah, good morning everybody. We're gonna catch you up on this trailer project. I guess I could cheat out and blame it on GoPro footage, but GoPro goofs up enough footage on its own. I'm gonna tell you the truth. We got busy and forgot to do some videoing. So where we left off, I think we were hanging the axles back under there. We had to spin this front axle around so our brake configuration would be right. And we came in and put a little accent orange. Got to do a little Kubota orange, just an inside joke with Tristan and I. Got our striping on. We had to add another stack to our receiver hitches because we added this bump stop, and this winch line was gonna rub, so we welded it up enough. It's kind of funny. My buddy borrowed the trailer and welded his on, and it fit his, but it didn't fit mine, so I had to weld this on so that my winch mount would work. And then next thing you know, we add a bump stop and got to add it again, so we're just going up. Anyhow, we got that going. We got our hitch torqued down, put a little Kubota accent orange on there. We left this hand tight till we got it all situated to see how the trailer was looking, and we decided the bottom is the best way to go. And again, we're we got the wheels on, and what we did is we just spun them and hit them with the paint, and that was that. We got stickers on the back here too, so we all kind of legit. This morning, even though the grease looked pretty good, the grease looked a little sparse, so Tristan's pulling bearings, and we're going to repack these original 2 tandems for the trailer were repacked when we did the stretch and everything. So we're going to clean and repack these, that way everything's done. And so anyhow, we're going to come back to y'all on that just slides on there.
Can we grease it or something like that?
No, the spring will push it. The spring pushes it up against the drum. Yeah, we just have to check it before we get to stabbing it on. All right, so that's what's happening there. We just popped the seal out, and I got to go get some seals. And Tristan's gonna go ahead and get the bearings packed and ready to go on. And then I've got to get into my little box here and figure out. I've got a blue wire run, which is for the brakes. I need to run a white ground wire from here to the back, which I didn't do. So I got a few more little things to do, and this old girl will be ready to go pick up something. We got kind of real pumped up about a project we're going to go pick up here, hopefully in about a week, maybe 2 at the most. And don't worry, y'all gonna see it. We film every day, even though we don't get we've got a issue with the editor. Kind of looks like this guy here, but yeah, we got a lazy editor, and after working 10 hours a day in the shop 7 days a week, you can't hardly get him to go in and sit down and do any editing. So anyway, we got a new computer, so that's helping the editing out and speeding that up and giving us a little more fun on that instead of a pain. So we'll be getting them out more regular here lately. But I'm digging it, man. The boards we all down looked real good. I don't know if we got any footage of oiling them down, but we just took them and laid them out on some boards and mopped used engine oil on them. We put 3 coats, these were real dry boards. None of them were new. If you have new treated boards, you're gonna have to let them dry a little bit first. But these were really dry, so we put 3 coats on them, and we were like, man, we're screwing this up. We're gonna be getting covered in oil, but you know, you don't really get anything off of them. They sucked it up good. So 3 coats top and bottom, and the boards are back, and it really gives you a cool look instead of that, you know, white pine look. All right, well, we're gonna come back to y'all in a little bit with some more on this trailer. Like I said, we're gonna repack, and I'm gonna get these brakes wired up and go from there. All right, guys, we got a single ground wire cut and loomed up. I pulled enough wire out to reach from the far front tire on this side to this side, and then up to the box. And I forgot, I put a ground lug on the frame, but I'm gonna run all the way up to the ground lug on this bus. And the reason being is that the old way of doing trailers, you could ground everything to the trailer and then it would ground through the hitch, but a lot of the hitches were bolted onto the truck. But even if you had a little trouble, once the inside of the coupler here and the ball rode together for a little while, they would shine each other up and ground. But a lot of the receiver hitches don't ground that well. So we're gonna, in order to have good brakes, we're gonna come all the way up to here. So I'm gonna take that wire, I'm gonna run it up here like these and loom them in and attach it onto the ground. And we're gonna run it on the PVC to the back, jump it across, and then I already have my blue wire that was run hanging right down in there. So we'll run them like that. And on the magnets, these are just a simple electromagnet, so it doesn't matter positive and negative. Just as long as you got both of them, you're in good shape. So I'll run that wire and then show y'all, you know, I'm just gonna run it, and then we're gonna tap into this brake and then jump across and tap into the other brake. And we're gonna use the front axle as a brake axle. And if that gives us enough stopping power, we'll be good. If we need to add some more, we'll add brakes to one of the other axles, give us a little more stopping power. All right, guys, here it is, a current rendition. I'm not gonna say final. We kind of never have an actual final rendition of anything around here. It seems like everything's always morphing into the next thing. We started this project about a year ago. There's a playlist on the channel, stretching the utility trailer to a car hauler, or converting a trailer to a car hauler, I think. So kind of giving y'all a little walk around. Some of this was all done on the playlist earlier, and like a year or so ago. And of course the third axle right here, the front one, we didn't have on when we bought it. I didn't realize it was 23 inches wider than everything else. So we upgraded, let's just start here in the front. Upgraded to some heavier chains, upgraded to this hitch here. Give us a little more height adjustment, that kind of stuff. The Bulldog hitch that was on there was starting to crack. Lord knows how old it was, and it was probably, it probably was loaded a little heavy a few times. We used this really neat little bus. It comes with a 7-pin pigtail. I've got it all rolled up right now. We're just moving the trailer for just to show y'all, so I don't have it handy. But anyhow, we got that wired into the brakes. We had to add another layer of mounts for the winch so that we can clear this bump stop that we put on. Let me get over here where you can see that. We just kind of, as an afterthought, thought that may be a good idea to have. That way you're winching something up on the trailer and, you know, it kind of breaks over and you get a little lean. It can't run away from you and get into the truck. We put the reflective striping and a little Kubota orange on the D-rings, give it a little pizzazz. There's our third axle that we cut And of course we had to cut the hanger brackets and can reconfigure that because of the measurements being off. Got our drive over fenders that we put together. Some of these trucks get a little wide. I just put the ramps back on, and they're in their pockets right there. Yeah, I just left them out to show y'all how we set that up. I wanted to have everything, you know, for years we had them set up with the ramps. We would throw them on the trailer, and we'd have to watch them when we drove, make sure they didn't, you know, come out of the strap or get off or whatever. So this is all self-contained. Also, I just kind of had this thought here, which is my swing down foot design. I know we're in the shade, but so we can have that set up so the trailer doesn't squat, or we can leave them up if we want a little squat to change the ramp angle. Also, this trailer has a swing arm. I don't know if you guys seen. We kept that, and just for shits and giggles in case we need it, but these feet will help with that as well. And then when you're done, you can just drive out forward. These will kick out, and then they will, whoops, I'm losing the camera. They'll line up and pin back in place when you don't need them. Hope I got that in frame. All right, new lights with some backup lights built in on the outside, so that helps you back up at night. You know, this old socket right here has a 90-degree swing arm for picking stuff up. We got the winch truck now, so that may be obsolete, but we did throw a little paint on the swing arm as well. I'm gonna try and remember to throw some pictures of how this thing all started. Years ago, this was a tandem axle 16-foot trailer, and the axles were dead center of the 16-foot bed, so it made it awful to load and get your tongue weight right. So first step was cut the sides down. It had sheet metal sides, or 1/8 tank steel sides, and a roof. I didn't get the roof on it, so it had about 4-foot sides when I got it, with tandem axles and the swing arm. It had a gate in the back, and the deck went all the way up the hitch to the front, where you could actually have a drop down door with a ramp to load in the front or the back. So it's a pretty unique little trailer, but the balance was crap. So I took I unbolted the springs. I put a sliding 4-inch angle iron. I wasn't sure at that time of the math, so I wanted to make sure I could move it. So we cut the sides and moved the axles back and welded it back together, put some handrails on it, got rid of the tailgate. And that was our first or second, I guess first iteration of it. And then handrails got, later that all got cut off, and so forth and so on. So anyway, here we are. We went from 16 feet of deck space to 22.5. I took the 450 that we're going to be doing cab swaps on here pretty soon, which is a 4-door 450 with a 12-foot bed, and used it as the pattern for this. So if you rolled that truck up on this bed, the dualies would just be hitting the fender, or, you know, kind of chalked in on the fender, I guess you could say, with the front hitting the bump stop and giving me about 1.5 foot, maybe 2 foot of overlap on the back. So that's the biggest truck we figured we wanted to haul with this trailer, and putting the extra axle gave us a little weight. I'm not a big fan of these wheels and stuff, but they do keep the trailer a lot lower than 16s, and it saved us a lot of money. If we start doing a lot of moving, then we may upgrade to a dedicated car hauler, but this will do good for now and kind of be a generic overall trailer as well. So anyhow, I just wanted to close this video out, show y'all what we came up with, and we got a couple of things we'll be moving with this here soon, so she'll get a little break in and we'll see what's going on with her. So that's about it for now. That's going to conclude stretching a car trailer or utility into a car hauler. And again, that's our version. If you see something that we could have done better or something that we missed, hit us up in the comments, man. So, you know, share a little love, give us some pointers of what you guys have experienced. And other than that, I'm gonna shove these ramps in and see if I can't find something for this thing to do. All right, guys, y'all know what to do with the rest of it, and we appreciate all the views and comments. So we're gonna get back to filming something else, and we'll see y'all on the next one.